All right, so doing another solving by graphing using our graphing calculator. So again, we want to start in standard form. So we're going to move everything to the same side so that it's equal to 0. And we want to try to keep our x squared term positive. So this time, we're going to add the 8x to each side and add the 11. Okay. So that will give us x squared plus 8x plus 16 equals 0. So again, this part is what we're going to type into our y1 spot on our calculator. So we're going to grab our calculator, and then no matter what screen it's at, we're just going to go to the y equals screen. And if you have something there, we're just going to clear it out. So I'm going to press clear, and then we're going to type in the new equation. So that is x squared plus 8x plus 16. And again, we always want to start in a standard window. So in the previous example, I had changed the window. So to start in my standard window, I'm going to press zoom and then 6, and that will bring you to that standard window. All right, so again, it looks like we will have just one intersection. Okay, so again, we can practice zooming in. So if I press my zoom key, we're going to zoom in. And then we have to move our cursor, so using our left, right, up, and down, to where we want it to zoom in at. So wherever that cursor is, that will be the center of your screen. So you want to put it as close to that vertex of that parabola as possible. And then I'm going to press enter, and it will zoom in for me. All right, so again, that looks like it's just going to be one answer again. So to calculate it, we're going to go to our calc menu. So second trace, select 0. And then again, left bound means that we have to be to the left side of what we're trying to find. So we're trying to find this point right here. So I'm going to move my cursor so that it's to the left of that point. So right there looks good. And then I'm just going to press enter. And then my little arrow popped up. And then now it's asking for the right bound. So again, we're trying to find this point right here. So now I need to move my cursor so that it's on the right side. So it can be anywhere on the right. So somewhere in there is good. And then enter. And then enter again when it says guess. So again, we have a little bit of a coding error there. So that really means the same thing as -4. So that's going to be our answer. So back on our paper, we would write x equals -4. We're just going to have one solution for that. All right, so if we just start working on the next example right away. So again, we want it to be in standard form. So for this problem, I'm going to subtract the 12. And I'm going to add the x squared at the same time. And then I'm just going to flip it so that my 0 is on the right side. So when we simplify, this will give us x squared, and then minus 12x. And then if we take 48 minus 12, that will be 36. So positive 36 equals 0. So that's what we are going to type into the calculator. So again, if we grab the graphing calculator, I'm going to go to my y equals, clear out what's there, and then type in the new equation. So x squared minus 12x plus 36. And again, standard window, so we're going to press zoom 6. Okay, so again, we're going to find our answer. Now, if I'm looking at this, so I'm going to zoom in, so just zoom, and then in, move our cursor. So again, we want to move it to where we want it to zoom in at. So I want to put it as close to the vertex as possible, and then enter. All right, so it looks like it's going to be right at that point. So without having to do that 0, because it looks like it's going to be a nice point, we can also try to see if we can do a little bit of a guess. So I'm going to go back to my standard window so I can count my tick marks. So zoom 6. So it looks like it's going to be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I just press trace and I hit the 6 key, we're looking for 0 for the y spot. So since I got 0 here, I know that my x value has to be 6. So again, that's going to be our solution to this problem. So x equals 6 is the answer. All right, one more problem. So again, we're just going to add the 2 over. So if we do that, we will have x squared minus 6x plus 2 equals 0. So again, we're going to put this side in, so into our y equals spot, or that y1 on the calculator. So I'm going to go back to my y equals, clear out what's there. So x squared minus 6x, and then plus 2, and then zoom 6 to graph. All right, so looks like we have 2 intersections this time. So that means that we're going to have 2 answers. So I'm just going to start with the one on the left. So we're going to find this intersection point right here. So again, to do that, we're going to do second trace, select 0. And again, we have our cursor has to be to the left of this point. So it's got to be on the left side of that. So anywhere on the left, so there looks good. And then enter. And then now we have to be to the right side of where we think it's intersecting. So we need to be to the right. So somewhere in there looks good. So enter, and then enter again. Okay, so this is not intersecting at a nice point. So I'm going to round to 2 decimal places. So that means our first answer is going to be x equals 0.35. So again, I wrote that down on my paper here. And then we're going to have a second one. So now we're going to find that 0. So again, second trace, select 0. And then again, we have to be on the left side. So I'm going to arrow a little bit closer. But I do still need to be to the left of where it's intersecting that x-axis. So anywhere in here is going to work. And then we're going to press enter. And then now for the right bound, we have to be to the right side of it. So anywhere in there is going to work. So enter, and then enter again. All right, so another messy answer. So we're going to have 5.65 if we round to 2 decimal places. So again, our final answer is going to be x equals 0.35 and then 5.65. So most of the time when we solve by graphing, our answers are going to look like this. And that is going to conclude section 2.